Hi, hello, and welcome back to What is K-pop podcast, where in which I'm talking slightly funny. We talk all things K-pop here. So, for anyone who hasn't been keeping up with the last, to be fair, I think it's only been 2 episodes because of current affairs on my teeth, basically. I don't even know when it was anymore. I think it might have been Friday night. Me and Mum were watching the HBO Max TV series called The Pit, right? And I noticed that I don't even know why I'm giving the context of that. I watched The Pit, but I just felt like I wanted to. I noticed that one of my tooths, I don't know, was hurting a little bit. Which unfortunately, that is kind of normal for me to have some level of tooth pain, right? So I was like, okay. I mentioned it to my mum, and she was like, okay, well, we're going to the dentist soon anyway. The dentist checkup is due soon, so we'll tell him then. So I was like, okay. She goes to have her nap, and the pain goes up to my jaw, right? And again, I've had some issues with my jaws anyway. They're super loose. The joint is very small, so jaw pain again. That's not too weird for me. So I take ibuprofen, and it 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 does hurt quite a bit. It is a bit of a painful thing going on in my face. And bear in mind, last weekend, so on Saturday, last weekend was the May bank holiday, not the early May bank holiday, but just the main one. And so I was like, oh shit, this is interesting. Don't know why on earth this is deciding to occur right here, right now, but okay, we'll deal with it. And so it was no, it was on Friday, sorry. So it was on the Saturday that I was like, this is actually horrible, I need to go see a dentist because I'm thinking that maybe there's something wrong with the filling and that maybe it's super irritated or something and he can do something to there's something wrong with the actual filling itself, right? Not well the filling itself, not the actual tooth. So I kind of waited out. But then it gets to a point where I actually have to ring 111 and I'm like, mate, this is actually unbearable. And the lady on the phone said oh, you should have a look to see about emergency dentists. So I was like, right, okay, that's we can do that. But I can't really find much information about them. And so we decide to ring the dentist that we are it's in the UK, because of originally, actually, the NHS did dental work, right? So you would just be able to go to your local dentist and they would kind of refer you to the dental team, I guess, and they would sort you out. But because of how, lucrative, I guess, or how much specific dental work costs, I guess. I was watching a video about it, but I can't remember. They they didn't privatize it, but they made it so that it's not free on the NHS, for adults. I mean, it's still free for kids, under the age of 18. All kids get free dental checkups under the NHS and stuff. You can either go private or you can be on something called Denplan, which essentially is the American model of insurance. But instead of it being £200 and your firstborn child, it's more £100 each month, or no, not even, no, sorry. What am I talking about? £15 then plan. Jesus Christ, where am I for patience? Tell me. Payment plans. Just to so I'm not pulling a thing out my ass right now. A number out my ass. So kind of what is covered for I don't know, someone like me. So I get a damn plan care plan thingy. There's other ones essentials, hygiene, ones for kids. So you get dental advice. Everyone gets advice. Checkups. Everyone gets checkups except from on the hygiene plan. The hygiene treatment, yes, for care and hygiene, but essentials and children, it varies by dentist. The sorry, it really hurts on like the bottom of my jaw, so I don't even know why I'm deciding to do this. X-rays, yes, for the care plan. Essentials, it varies by the dentist, and you don't get X-rays for the hygiene. And again, for the children, it varies by dentist. And then like restorative treatments, like fillings, crowns, and bridges, yes, within terms and conditions of the contract. No, for the essentials and hygiene and children, it varies by dentist, right? So like it isn't bad. You don't. It's not. Again, it's not £2,000 in your firstborn child, but it's not free. Why don't they tell you like what your I might have to like pretend to Jesus. This is what we do here. This is just like an update episode, by the way. Not even introduced that part. I don't want to request an appointment. I literally just want to be an absolute fucking creepo and find out how much the damn plan costs. It doesn't tell you. Okay, that's fun. So, I believe it is £15 a month, and I'm on my mum. My mum pays for it, so I don't pay Den plan for fucking god. Not that it would have mattered, but yeah. So the Den plan thing. So not all dentists do it, right? So some dentists are accredited to be a child dentist, right? An NHS dentist for children and for Den plan, right? Some practitioners, they will only do like Den plan, some are obviously private. You can go private, that's fine. Den plan is the most common thing. NHS obviously for kids, but you can also have Den plan for kids. So anyway, all this to say, we contact the dentist that I usually go to. And obviously it's bank holiday, so it's an answer phone. And they say like, if you leave a message for us, we'll get back to you. Like there's so around here, around my parts, it's like you can travel up to like 40 miles to get emergency dental treatment. So I was like, great, love that for me. I'm really not wanting to go like I really don't want to have to like say well, it's not as far away as this, but like I don't want to have to go to like somewhere like Nottingham to go get my dental treatment, which is where my grandparents used to live. So that's kind of like the benchmark, but it's not as far away as that. So I was like, okay, this will be interesting. And luckily, this very nice man, he gets back to us. He rings us back, and it's a South African man. So you know, my dad was happily talking to him about the Springboks, South African rugby team, right? After this, so they talk, my parents and him talk for a few moments, and he's like, you know, given what I have been like, what information I've received about Sophie, which is my real name, by the way. Don't know if I've mentioned that. I think my parents must have told him because like I'm quite nervous around doctors and dentists. And he was like, you know, I'm not too comfortable from what I hear right now about having Sophie come in, especially considering that it would be like in a dental practice where he like lives. So I don't know, but and he actually checks back in a few more times. It gets to Sunday, and you know, I'm not having a good time. Like, this really hurts. If you've ever had like dental pain, it is a certain type of pain. Like right now it kind of hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as it did before. Like it was to the point where I was literally like waiting until I could take more pain medication to feel better, or like slavering on like Bonjela, or my mum would put this like chloroseptic throat spray in my face to try and like numb the area a little bit. And so like I wasn't having a good time. It gets to Bank Holiday Monday. Mind you, we've been in a heat wave, so it's like 33 degrees. We have to go to like the neighbouring village, right? And admittedly, this doctor's surgery was so cute. It was like in a bungalow, and it had like actual couches for a waiting room, like chairs. It was so cute. And yeah, he has a look in my mouth, and he's like, "Yeah, I think he's infected." So I was like, "Great, love that for me." Could have really done without having this to deal with, but okay. I was thinking that's something that we can kind of work with. It could just be that, you know, the fillings come a bit loose and it's gotten a bit irritated in my face. I don't quite honestly. I don't want to know too much more. At this point, I was like, I don't want to know too much more. So yeah, I get the antibiotics, right? I go home and we take them, and the next day I'm feeling okay-ish. Like the pain is kind of going a little bit. We phone up my home dentist, right? And they're like, yeah, we can get her in on Friday at like 10:45. So I was like, okay, I would much prefer it to be a little bit sooner, but it's good enough. That's like fine, you know? It kind of is what it is. So the next few days is obviously more and more pain. We get to be fair, it was even on Wednesday. We were gonna have lasagna for dinner, and mind you, I love a good lasagna. And I think it was on that day. Yeah, it was that day. And I was like, mate, I don't think I can do this. It's painful. And so my mum was like, okay, well, we'll ring up the dentist. It was like kind of just before the home dentist is about to close. And so they were like, we can get her in tomorrow if she really needs it. And I really needed it. So Thursday morning at 11:15, I go in, I get an x ray done. The man was very nice actually. And he's like, basically, you need like either it removed, like the tooth being extracted, or I really should have put a disclaimer saying teeth stuff. If you hate teeth, don't listen to this. Just skip to the album part of this episode. You either have an extraction or a root canal. Like either the tooth goes away or you can keep your tooth. And I was like, well, I'd rather keep the tooth, if I'm being honest. And so I come away from it. I start crying, obviously. I've been crying throughout this whole entire thing. But then I started really crying, and then I researched root canals, and I was like, no, no. Because then I found out it takes like up to 90 minutes for them, like each session, and it's going to be prolonged, and there's no chance of it even working. So yeah. Let me fast forward until yesterday. Yesterday morning at like quarter to 11, which was when my appointment was. And he was like, it's up to you if you want it removed or not. And I was really debating this. And he was like, you're going to have to come back in multiple times, like over the next few weeks to sort this out, Sophie. Do you really want to do that? And I was like, mate, Mr. Dr. Dentist Man, I like you as like a person, You're a funny man. And as a dentist, I'm sure you're alright. I've not been to many dentists, but you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. I don't fancy coming. I wasn't actually saying this to him. I was like, don't really want to come back. But I'm sure he was should have been screaming. I'm sure he was pleased that I was like, mate, I don't wanna. Just take it out. Sorry. This whole situation has just been, like, honestly, now looking back on it, hilarious. Mind you, I've also had like intermittent fevers, or like been sort of, to be fair, it's been really warm, so like I'm just a naturally warm person. I also am like ill, like I have an infection, like no wonder. But to be fair, I haven't felt like feverish, I've just felt like overly warm but not like ill. So yeah, I just start laughing in the dentist chair, and I'm sure he's like, fucking hell, this kid must have been through a lot. Because I've been seeing him since I was, God, 15 years? Maybe even longer. It's been a long time. So yeah, I ended up getting the tooth like removed, extracted, whatever you want to call it. And the I was gripping onto the seat. I was gripping onto my mum's hand. Like it was it was pretty bad. But luckily, the dental assistant that I had, like it, I normally go to the appointments when a certain dental assistant is going to be on shift, which I know there's like, well, how do you know? Like, how, like, why are you allowed to do that? It's like, well, it's because my dentist just knows. I'm sorry, I don't really have like like a fancy reason or like a really annoying reason, because I know that a lot of people, they struggle with getting dental appointments. Like, honestly, my dentist is actually really good to us. He will gladly have us in on these specific days that this one dental assistant is in. But I think everyone just knew that like I wouldn't care and to just have any old dental assistant be there. So yeah, if anyone who oh my god, I can't speak. Have if anyone has had like a tooth removed, it genuinely felt like he was trying to like remove my jaw from my mouth. Yeah. So yeah, now that I've been talking for a little bit, my jaw does kind of hurt, but oh well. It is also kind of warm in like the general area, but yeah, it was kind of funny. The entire saga took about a week. We're on the mend. I've still got a few days of antibiotics left, and I hope to be well enough to like I hope to be at full health this time next week. Yeah. So anyway, 20-minute story, all for me wanting to ask, would you like me to review the albums from this year? Like the full length studio albums. So the ones that I want to talk about would be Archive 1 by Woods, Ariane obviously by BTS, Pure Flow Part 1 by The Seraphim, Reverie by EXO, Revive Plus by IVE, Home by Boy Next Door, Lemonade by aespa, Unfold by Monster X, and EXO My Cyber Love by Chew. Would anybody like that? No, no. I might just talk about it anyway, even though no one wants to listen to it. Yeah. Thank you as always for listening, and I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Bye.